Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Friday, May 30th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
Happy Canada Day!
Canada Day is shaping up to be a showstopper, and the Capital Region's main party is at Le Breton Flats. Pop rock powerhouse Amanda Marshall kicks off the noon ceremony. Also in the spotlight, a new family fun space at the Supreme Court of Canada with activities like yoga and drumming. And across the river in Knowles Hall, more festivities and performances, all to highlight 158 years of sovereignty.
This is a time as a Canadian that we need to speak up about unity.
And at the heart of Canada, Parliament Hill.
It makes me proud to be here and to be happy.
With ceremonies like the changing of the guard and an air show by the Snowbirds.
You know, there's one thing that is crystal clear. Canada is not for sale and will never be. So this Canada Day, let's get together. Let's wave our flags with pride.
And when the sun sets, a star-studded lineup lights up the main stage at Le Breton. With headliner Sarah McLachlan, followed by a host of Juno-winning and Canadian stars. Like Tom Cochrane. When you're all over him, I hope you're all over me. Rising country star Josh Ross. If I could see how you see me, I could be. And hometown favorite Talk. Dozens of acts will be keeping crowds buzzing all day and night.
To really represent our amazing diversity of Canadian artists, and we're so excited that July 1st is going to be one of the best Canada Days that we've had.
And the grand finale, a dazzling fireworks show over downtown. Lots of fun, and if you want to be part of the Canada Day magic, organizers are still looking for volunteers. Patricia.
All right. It will be elbows up in that crowd, I'm sure, to find some space. Tyler, can you guess which performer people were most excited about on News Talk 580 CFRA today?
Well, if they're anything like me, it's got to be Mitsu.
Mitsu?
Or Rock Voisin.
Amanda Marshall.
Okay,
like
I guess.
All right, Tyler. Thanks so much.
Ryan Strasnitsky attended a packed house premiere for a television series called We Were Broncos.
It's been 7 years since the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, where 16 people lost their lives and 13 were left injured. It's something that I think about every day.
Initially, Strasnitsky was hesitant to participate in the series.
The more I thought about it, the more I thought it could be good exposure for adaptive sports, my journey, and then kind of a thank you to let people know that from their support, I was able to be in this position now and continue to strive for the Paralympics.
The 6-part series documents the partially paralyzed hockey player's attempt to make the national sled hockey team and an unexpected turn.
So I got cut from the national sled hockey team, and my entire life revolved around getting cut from sport teams. So I knew that the next step was continue to move forward. That's all he's ever taught. My dad taught me that. And so my next path forward, my next open door was wheelchair basketball.
The series airs Monday nights on the AMI cable channel and streams on AMI Plus.
And so one of the things that we've been able to do is work across Canada with production companies reflecting content with people with disabilities.
The series is the creation of Regina television producer Lucas Frisson.
And I have a personal connection to the Humboldt crash because I was best friends with Mark Cross, the assistant coach who died in the crash. So, you know, it's always something that's been close to me, and I've always followed Ryan's journey from afar. And
Strasnitsky is pleased with how the television series turned out.
It's a part of life. It's something that happened that I wish I could take back, but, you know, life moves forward, and you try to live your best life and do it in memory of them and everyone that we lost that day. So it's a lot of mixed emotions, but a lot of it's like that push and that drive to move forward for them.
While Strasnitsky is now focused on wheelchair basketball, he hasn't given up on his love for hockey. He's considering a return one day as a sled hockey coach. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The ship has long been a symbol of connection and communication.
The ship was the first vessel of communication between countries. Language, history, relationship, commerce. Anything you mentioned, that was done by the ship.
This 60-foot-long handcrafted wooden ship is a touring exhibit called Between Heaven and Earth and the Ship of Tolerance. It's located outside of the Oakville Galleries, brought to Canada in collaboration with the National Gallery of Canada in Ottawa.
The Ship of Tolerance is a project by Ilya and Amelia Kabakov, who are world-renowned artists, and they've worked with the Children of Canada to make this project.
This year marks the 20th anniversary of the International Touring Exhibit, with the sails at each stop made by children of that country. This version includes the collective work of 2,000 local children from Halton and Peel region.
This is a platform. Anything goes. You are unhappy with your parents? Tell us. You're unhappy with bullying at school? Tell us. Tell parents, tell adults, what do you want for the future? How you want this world to operate?
Meant to make meaningful conversations about what both divides us and connects us. The free public art exhibit is designed for everyone.
Talking about ideas of tolerance, how to build a brighter future, ideas of humanitarianism, all these topics that need more discussion, especially today, when things are a little tricky politically around the world.
The hope, according to Kabakov, take topics often difficult to discuss and bridge the gaps through ongoing and open dialogue.
I think this ship teach children that violence doesn't solve problems. Communication does. So do communicate, talk.
The Ship of Tolerance will be here at the Oakville Galleries through to the end of the year. And then the National Gallery of Canada will decide where it goes next. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
1, 2, 3.
It's a project years in the making. Despite tight city finances, council says the trains must keep moving.
We can't stop building transit. We can't stop building ways for people to move.
The 4.5-kilometer Phase 1 of the Capital Line South will run along the west side of 111th Street from Century Park to the future Heritage Valley North Station near Ellerslie Road and 127th Street. Officials admit the years of construction will cause headaches for drivers, but will eventually reduce traffic.
If we were to go back today and have to add an additional lane to 111th Street or 114th Street, it would be so cost prohibitive, it would be impossible. The only lasting solution to get people out of traffic is to give people alternatives.
Even though the LRT trains aren't due to arrive here for several years, people who live in the area that I spoke to say they're going to make a big difference for this community.
Nowadays, everything's so expensive. Like my kids, I don't know if they're going to get a car or get a license or anything. So I think public transit is going to be needed.
If the LRT is introduced, certainly I hope the traffic will also be less.
The city says the project will cost nearly $1.4 billion. That's $300 million more than originally estimated. The province is kicking in $365 million. Part of that is coming out of funding for the West and Metro LRT projects at the city's request. Both levels of government say despite the occasional disagreements, they have a common goal.
Whether it's Edmonton or any other municipality, the provincial government wants all municipalities in Alberta to thrive.
We'll have disagreements every now and then. That's normal. We have disagreements with each other on council. But what's important is when it comes to shovels in the ground and it comes to dollars on the checks, things are moving.
The city expects construction to be finished by 2030 with a testing and commissioning phase after that. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Rain or shine, these women love nothing more than to play or practice softball.
I've been a part of this league for approximately 45 years.
Melanie Bedard lives for Wednesday nights in the summer when she gets to come to Empire Park to play in the Greenfield Park Ladies Softball League. Made up of 4 teams, it's entirely volunteer run.
It's that night out of the week where they get to leave the children behind and come out. Sometimes it's really a mental health thing. They need that activity.
The league is made up of women of all ages and all skill levels. Stacey Davies says several generations of her family play ball.
She's running the blades.
And she hopes one day her daughter will too.
We get to, kind of cheer each other on and teach each other, and nobody feels judged.
But these women say a new policy with the city of Longueuil is putting their league at risk. Members already pay a $100 league fee to rent the field for 12 games and to pay an umpire. Many of their members no longer live in Longueuil and are now being told they need to purchase an access card for an extra $100 if they want to play.
$200 is a lot of money.
And it just to come and it's not like we're in a league of like going to win the World Series or something. It's just a fun league where you just enjoy yourself and laugh and have a good time.
They say many simply can't afford the extra cost, but without them, there won't be enough women to fill 4 teams. According to a Greenfield Park Borough councillor we spoke to, the new policy extends to all volunteer-run activities using city space, everything from senior social groups to square dancing clubs. The league has appealed to the city for a solution, but says so far nothing has changed.
We were supposed to start yesterday, and it's been day by day trying to figure out another way to play, and right now it doesn't look good.
We reached out to the city of Longueuil for comment, but didn't get a response by our deadline. Meantime, these women hope to have a full roster on this field soon enough. Angela McKenzie, CTV News, Greenfield Park.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I know.
This is Gabriel. At just about 5 months old, he's been through a lot in his little life.
It does appear that he was attacked with a machete.
It happened earlier this month on a remote beach in St. Lucia, a small island in the Caribbean.
The jaw was just completely open. There was sand in there, debris, dirt. There was little pieces of paper as well, and maggots.
On his last legs, he was taken in by Help Paws, a non-profit animal rescue in St. Lucia. After the island vet suggested humane euthanasia, the organization turned to social media for advice and support.
We obviously want to do everything we possibly can for this dog. Like, he deserves a chance at life, but like, what is his quality of life going to be like?
Help Paws also reached out to Guelph veterinarian Dr. Renee Fleming, who took a different approach.
We made the decision to start treatment on the island with antibiotics and pain control and make a plan for him to come to Canada so that he could have more extensive work done and make sure that he was going to be okay moving forward.
Fleming flew down to St. Lucia to pick up the puppy, and the pair arrived in Canada late Sunday night. By Tuesday, Gabriel had already undergone several procedures.
Did some x-rays of his skull and his jaw where some of the injuries were. There was a number of damaged teeth that needed to be removed and some wounds to close.
Now he's on the mend and on the move.
Good boy, yeah. He loves cats, he loves dogs, he loves kids, and he loves people. He just loves to be with people.
While little Gabriel here is still awaiting some treatment, vets here at the Guelph Animal Hospital hope to have him in the hands of his foster family by next week, and eventually this little guy will be up for adoption for his forever home. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Guelph.
For Dan G. of Glace Bay, painting is more than just a hobby. It's a passion.
I wish it was a full-time job. That's the dream, right?
Though no one is paying him for his work yet, the 44-year-old has been painting pretty much his whole life. Everywhere you go inside his home, his work hangs proudly from the walls. Originally from the Kitchener-Waterloo area in Ontario, a few years ago, G and his wife, along with their 2 teenage children, decided to move to Cape Breton.
I moved here to Glace Bay a few years ago. We are tired of the big city, wanted to slow down a bit.
Once they arrived in their new home on the island, the artist's eye was struck by the area's natural beauty.
Cape Breton's a beautiful place. I like to capture that as much as I can. The scenery here is like no other, so I like to get that on canvas.
In the past few months, G has taken to social media to try and gain more exposure for his work and catch the eyes of potential employers. Though he has a healthy following on Instagram, too, his main platform of choice these days is TikTok.
Yeah, you gotta go where the people are, right? So TikTok is where the people are right now.
While he can't be sure if putting himself out there on social media might actually lead to a job as an artist, if he were to land a professional gig, G says ideally he would like to stay here on the island so he could continue to capture the beauty that has taken his work and his inspiration to the next level. As for why someone might want to consider hiring him,
well, if they got a guy who loves what he's doing and he puts his heart into everything.
For now, he'll keep living the dream online in hopes his own dreams of doing this for a living might be brought to life, not unlike the natural scenery that he puts on canvas. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Glace Bay.
For patients who suffer from spinal disorder, the pain can be debilitating. That was the case for Dr. Robin Klein, who suffered from a herniated disc last December.
Intense shooting pain all the way down my leg into my foot. It was unbearable. I couldn't walk. I could barely sit.
This past April, Klein was fortunate a spot was available for her to have a spinal endoscopic surgery performed by neurosurgeon Dr. Neil Dougal.
This procedure is using a very small incision that splits the muscle, and it has water going through it with a scope. And by doing that, it has less bleeding, and so therefore is less scarring around the nerves.
LHSE is the first hospital in Ontario to have performed this new procedure, and Klein is only one of 6 patients with a disc herniation in an atypical location that had this surgery performed by Dr. Dougal.
I've gotten my life back. I'm doing everything that I was doing before. I still have some soreness and some stiffness, and obviously now I'm really sore from all the exercise I'm doing, but that's good soreness, not what I had before.
Surgeons use a slender tube-like camera called an endoscope to visualize the spine through small incisions. The surgical procedure offers the most minimally invasive approach to treating conditions such as herniated discs and other degenerative disc diseases.
One strategy to help reduce the wait times is to embrace innovative techniques. This procedure, for example, will hopefully result in fewer hospital admissions and such that we can do more cases and work our way through the wait lists.
The new procedure represents an important advancement in care that is transforming the way patients deal with back pain across Ontario. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Youth Centres of Calgary opened its Forest Lawn location last September. The Marmie's House program is for kids 9 to 15, where they get snacks, a hot meal, and help with homework. It's funded by Rotary members.
You can provide a safe, supportive, and caring place for kids to come, and where they're not out wandering around after school wondering what to do.
Sean Bayless says the program has been running for more than 30 years, and its graduates have gone on to big things.
We've seen a lot of our students come out of this program and be really successful engineers, accountants, teachers, doctors. So it's amazing to be able to see the results.
This is one of hundreds of programs local clubs can show Rotarians from all over the world on June 21st when the International Convention kicks off in Calgary.
It's really an annual event where Rotarians from around the world, over 120 countries, come to share ideas, talk about projects, be entertained, have fellowship, with a heart and mind towards service both locally and internationally.
Mark Starrett and Craig Stokey have worked for the last 10 years organizing the event and say while it will highlight Calgary, it will also shine a light on the 100-year history of Rotarians in our city.
There's a lot of charities out there that may not know what we do, and there's a lot of people, I think, that want to give back to the community, but they don't know how to do it, and they don't really have an avenue. So just getting that exposure about Rotary, what we do in the community, I think is really important.
Organizers say they've done all the hard work and are ready to not only host the event in a few weeks, but enjoy it. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The Capitol Centre's theatre may be empty right now, but over the past 9 decades, it's been North Bay's home of entertainment. Its next season starts in late September.
The Capitol Centre has truly been a place for the community for almost 100 years, and we're so grateful that the community still comes to us and looks to us as a place where they can come and gather.
Mistrada says this year's lineup is promising something for everyone, from comedy shows to concerts.
Jan Arden, who's coming back this year with a Christmas show. Howie Mandel is kicking off the season, and you mentioned Sam Roberts' band. But we're also really excited for some artists that we never thought we'd be able to bring to North Bay.
The theater is also boasting about issuing more memberships with 217. It also has a record troupe of more than 110 volunteers, which breaks the previous record of 84. Last year, over 42,000 people attended events at the Capitol Centre, while more than 7,000 attended art shows at the WKP Kennedy Gallery.
Last year was a real season of growth. It was our first real full season where we saw people come back after the pandemic, after COVID, feeling comfortable and ready to re-engage with community again.
As a downtown, we're so fortunate to have this theater right in our downtown district. It brings in people throughout the evenings for shows, which means we're seeing people at restaurants, shopping late when stores are open.
Before the new season of shows start, though, the Capitol Centre is preparing to host the Free Bay Block Party in August, taking the reins from the North Bay and Realtors Association.
We're really looking forward to it. Hopefully that's a sign that we're doing something right.
Capitol Centre members are now able to start purchasing tickets, while the general public must wait until June 10th. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
We're going to show that great ideas grow here in Saskatchewan and will for decades to come.
Innovation Saskatchewan is charting a new path for economic prosperity in Saskatchewan. As part of a rebranding, the Crown Corporation will be shifting focus on its research strategy towards 4 key sectors: life sciences, mining, energy, and agriculture research.
It provides that cohesiveness that we can now take out and provides a really strong signal to the world that we are an innovation powerhouse.
The province is nearly doubling the money available in its Innovative Science Fund to help encourage the next scientific breakthrough. Lyora co-founder Steven Siciliano is more interested in improvements aimed at startups, where a highly competitive tax credit will be expanded to include life science startups.
95 to 99% of all startups will fail or fail to reach their next fundraising, which means they go bankrupt. And therefore, the provision of and support of a business community as well as a startup community by Sask Innovation is critical.
By not only creating an environment where venture capitalists want to invest in Saskatchewan startups, Siciliano says these program enhancements will help Saskatchewan dream.
Those accelerators and incubators allow people of all ages to dream, because the best founders are not 17-year-old whiz kids. What they are is they're in their 40s to 50s. They have experience.
Innovation Place is no more. It is now Innovation Saskatchewan Research and Technology Park Saskatoon, with another park in Regina, as the province looks to welcome homegrown ideas that can change the world. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Reunited Bellisford was preparing to go for a walk with her dogs when they were startled by a bear in the yard.
And he was right here coming. So I was screaming from the bottom of my heart, and he didn't want to move.
It may have been this bear that a neighbor saw on a different day, but in the same area.
I was really scared. He was taller than me. He was really big.
But Reunited and the dogs kept making noise for almost an hour until the bear eventually retreated back into the woods.
My dogs followed him all the way up there.
The dogs eventually came back, but when Reunited returned home, there was no sign of her goats.
And I took my car and I drove and I called their name.
She searched for them everywhere for hours, but they were gone.
It was horrible.
Because they weren't just any goats, they were family, especially Nara.
Rejected by her mom, so I needed to raise her with a bottle.
Nara and Reunited were inseparable. When they weren't watching TV together or going for car rides, the goat would go for hikes with her and the dogs.
So she thinks I'm her mom.
After Nara became a mom, the goat family expanded to 11. But after none of them showed up the next morning, Reunited couldn't help but think about her work as a grief recovery specialist.
It's important, instead of panicking and anticipating the negativity, trusting that your prayer will be answered.
Almost 24 hours later, it was. A neighbor spotted the goats acres away, and Reunited rushed to retrieve them.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I just said, babies! And they were stuck there, but when they saw me, they come running.
Whether the goats were originally scared by the bear's arrival or by all the noise being made before its departure, Reunited couldn't be more grateful that she never gave up hope and her furry family is reunited.
They're my babies. They're not goats.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Metchosin.